Hello and welcome to the fourth week of the ZGG Gold League. My name is Wisdom, and joining me tonight are Industrial and Shinkari. How y'all doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm very excited for some Gold League. I've been casting some Plat. Now taking it wanted to see what's happening over here in Gold League. Y'all have a lot of teams.
It is a little crowded, it seems like, almost. So we're just gonna go through this pretty quickly. Just a little bit of ragtag group tonight. First game gonna be Going Ghost versus Revolution Reimagined. What are you guys thinking? Start with Industrial.
Oh, is it Astro? Okay.
It is, yes.
Yeah, okay. Definitely Going Ghost is a little bit of a firmer grip when it comes to getting it together, I guess. Revolution Reimagined has yet to get a single win so far. On their game record, though, they have won one game. So hopefully we'll be able to see 2 games win tonight on Revolution Reimagined, but I do think it will be for Going Ghost.
Alright, Shikari, how about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for Going Ghost as well. Taking a look at their schedule already so far here. We're 3 weeks in. Going Ghost has had some pretty good wins under their belt so far, and I've done so against some folks who are currently tied for first or tied for third, back and forth here, and they've had a much harder schedule and have come out with a better match record on top. So it's hard for me to look at Revolution Reimagined, who is 1-6 in games and 0-3 in matches, and be like, yeah, it's time. It's their time. Everyone likes an underdog story, but sometimes it's a little written out.
Yeah, to be more realistic, I think I'm going to go, honestly, Going Ghost as well. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory. I don't think they're going to just completely steamroll Revolution, but I don't think it's going to be a win for Revolution at all.
Okay.
And next up, we have Optizah versus Tenebris Esports Eternity. Shinkari, what you think about this one?
Optizah, yeah, this is looking pretty similar to what we saw before. I mean, Tenebris is just match record alone nearly undefeated, and to see these folks going up against Optizah, who is what I can only assume is off the pizza, which as a son of an Italian immigrant, why are you off the pizza? Get back on it, okay? Unless you're talking about pineapples, in which case, yes, we agree. Get it off. It's bad. Get it out of here. We don't have to get into this conversation now. Maybe I shouldn't have invoked the wrath of every person on the internet. But, it's get it off. Get it off.
Which is going to start sending their hate mail. Don't worry. All right, Industrial, what do you think about this one?
Definitely Tenebris. Tenebris has had such a good showing within these first 3 weeks in Gold League. They have yet to lose, and I don't see it happening anytime soon, honestly. And I don't know if Optizah has what it takes to knock down Tenebris down a notch, if I'm being quite honest with you. But I do think Optizah, you're getting there. I believe in the dream. I believe that if you get on the Zaw, you got this. I believe.
Yeah. I think I go with the same, honestly. TE has been looking insane this season. They have a really good, strong team. Definitely going to be a victory, in my opinion, as well. Coming up next, we have NSG Amethyst versus Conduit Esports Kraken. Industrial, let's start you off with this one.
So I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I've looked at these teams enough that I should know them well enough at this point, but honestly, I'm not so sure with this one. I feel like they're both very even. Obviously Amethyst has a better game record, but even then it's not the biggest difference. I feel like this is the first even matchup I feel like I've seen out of all the rosters in the scheduling so far. So I am a little bit curious to see how this one goes. I feel like I don't even want to give this is the person that's gonna win, because I'm just curious to see what's gonna happen, honestly. I feel like this is the chance either one team is gonna get completely rolled and the other one's gonna do the rolling, or this is gonna be we got a series on our hands, it's gonna go either way. That's really all I can do when it comes to predicting for this.
All right, and Shinkari, what you thinking about this one?
As the newbie here, I've got to go with the tried and true method for deciding this one, since it seems a little bit more even. I'm gonna go by the good old fashioned name diff. And obviously Conduit Esports Kraken here, Kappa Crusader. You can't get better than that, right? It's the double Ks, it's the 2K sound. you can't get better than that name. And also, a Kappa Crusader sounds great because he would have had to walk all the way from Japan all the way to the Middle East, which, you know, shout outs if he wants to make that trek, you know, walking all the way by there by himself. But, you know, I'm going to have to go with the Kappa Crusader here and throw it out to esports, Conduit Esports Kraken for my edge in this, just solely on the name diff.
The name difference, yeah.
The name diff, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think I'm going to do the same. Conduit Esports Kraken's looking better, in my opinion, than what Amethyst does. They do have one additional game win over them, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. I think it will be a 2-1 victory. I think Amethyst is going to come back really hard and just fight back in game 2, and then we're going to see a game 3, honestly. And then, onto that point, we now have Dorado Gaming Lambda versus Shining Light Guardians. Shinkari, what do you think about this one?
It's another close matchup here. Two of the higher ranked teams of this one, and I think I'm going to take a similar approach to Industrial in the previous one, where it's like this one's real close, and there's a lot of tiebreakers involved with this match as well. So this is more of like, I don't know if I want to make a strict call, but whoever wins this is it's gonna be like a very interesting game to watch for sure. And there's gonna be a lot of people with eyes on that match as well. So I don't know if I can make a strict prediction. If I want to go for a twofer for the name diff, I don't know. 650 by 602 has got to be like a decent aspect ratio that I'm gonna have to stick with here. Dorado doesn't really have a lot of names that kind of like stick out to me. They're all like, you know, I really thought about this name when I was 13, and now I still think it's cool. Kind of energy going on with Dorado. So, you know, 620 to 650 by 602, it's a pretty decent aspect ratio. We'll leave it with that. I'm gonna go with the name diff and give it to Shining Light.
All right, Industrial, what about you on this one?
Okay, so I was looking at their, like, who they've played against and that kind of stuff, because I feel like that also gives me a better idea. And when it comes down to these two teams, I feel like both of them have had very, like, tough matchups within the past 3 weeks, but they've also had pretty easy ones. And I think that, like, even, like, what's interesting to me, I guess, is I didn't think... I don't know how well Going Ghost is, but I did see Dorado had lost to them. So that makes me a little bit more interesting, because I feel like Going Ghost is a very, like, equal team to Dorado, in my opinion. However, I still feel like I like Dorado more. I think Dorado is gonna take it. They have a really cool icon because they have like faces and stuff, and Shining Light is just an SL. So you know what? Instead of going name diff, I'm gonna go. What would you call that? The icon, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Logo diff.
Logo diff. Yeah. Dorado has a new logo.
Just knowing both these teams that I do, I honestly think Lando's going to win it. I think it is going to be a 2-1 because Guardians has been really good this season, but you have Chitin in the mid lane, you've got Nagini, you've got Cooper, all very consistent players. They've been playing together for a bit in different leagues. I'm going to give it to Lando for this one, personally. And now we're going to move ourselves over to Aether. We have 4 games as well for this one, including our stream game of the night, which we'll do last. So first one's going to be Revolution De-Evolution versus Team Ambition Evolution. Industrial, let's start with you on this one.
Wait, can you repeat the game again? Sorry, I was...
So it's De-Evolution versus Evolution.
Okay, we're starting bottom up. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Team Ambition. Revolution also is 0-3 right now, and their game record is 1-6. And I think, honestly, they may just get rolled here, if I'm being quite frank with you. Ambition has had a very good showing so far, and I feel like Ambition, like, if you look at who they gone against, they went against TD Aftermath, who's in 5th place now. Let's see, who else have they gone against? Ambition. Like, I feel like they've gone against, like, enough teams to where, like,
you can, like, Aftermath.
Yeah, RAR. I feel like they've had those easy matchups, though, now that I'm actually looking more at it. So I think it's going to be a little bit iffy. I do feel like this week is going to be Ambition's time to prove, like, hey, this is my time to show that, like, I'm worthy of first place. I feel like they've had some pretty easy matchups coming in this season so far. So I think Revolution may have the chance to take them down a notch, maybe lower that ego a bit, but we'll see. I think it's still going to be an Ambition win, but I think it's going to be 2-1.
All right. And Chicago, what about you on this one?
Well, you know, I can't argue with a lot of the standings things as well. So I'm going to make a similar thing, and if Revolution De-Evolution plays anything like Revolution Ice Age over in the Plat League, then this is just going to be another stomp as well. Shang over in the Plat League was like, if we're gonna win so hard today, if we lose, you get access to the banter chat 2 weeks ago, and guess who lost? It was Shang. So now there's an entire team of people that just get to banter and make fun of Shang for free, which honestly, that's got to be the best value you can get in ZGG. Not gonna lie,
it is always better when it's free, for sure. Honestly, I'm gonna go the same. I think De-Evolution has a good chance to win, but I think Evolution currently holds that with, I'm going to say a 2-0 victory, honestly. De-Evolution, I've seen they won that one game. Evolution hasn't dropped a game yet. Yeah, they haven't dropped a game. They're one of the 3 other teams, so I think they're going to win at 2-0. On the next one, RAR versus SNC Grumpy Bears. Shinkari, what you think about that one?
I am... Let's take a look-see here. RAR and SNC Grumpy Bears. Well, already right off the bat, these two names are but my first take a look at these two teams is that already a Grumpy Bear is already gonna say RAR, so like it's like the call's coming from inside the house. This is like the brothers' war or something. I don't know. It's two siblings fighting each other, it seems, when these two are going up against each other. In terms of record between these two, RAR not having exactly the best of seasons this time around. They were on stream a couple of weeks ago, and we saw that they didn't exactly have a good time there either, right? And it's once again when I'm taking a look at gold teams, and I'm seeing like someone who's 0-3 going up against someone who is just a little bit better placed. Or no, these are both around the same. So,
they're
it's just not...
No, this is the time that we're finally gonna.
Yeah. My only problem is that games like this can end up being rather coin flippy. So like sometimes game 2 will just look completely different to game number 1, and I think this will go to 3 games. It just depends on who wins the coin flip in game number 3.
It's whoever throws less, basically.
Yeah.
All right, Industrial, let's get your take on this one for it.
You said the names, and honestly, I looked at the roster and I was like, oh, yes! One of these teams is finally going to get a win tonight, as they deserve, and I think this is going to be a very, vicious, intense battle, and I do think it's sibling rivalry, And personally, I have a brother and sister, and whenever it comes down to it, I will get down and dirty. I will bite them, I will claw at them, I do not care. And that is, what I think is going to happen tonight between these two teams, which just makes me super eager. Honestly, I want to watch the VODs of these games at one point. I feel like they're gonna be so fun. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, though, I do feel like when it comes to RAR, Doki, just as a person, I love him so much. Just because Doki does not refuses to take Lash, and because of that, I think RAR is gonna take the win tonight. Just because of that. I don't know how that's going to correlate, but it will. I think, honestly, Doki's going to it's going to be fearful.
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm actually on the other side of that one. I think, honestly, it's going to be a Grumpy Bears win. I'm not a huge fan of RAR as a team overall, just my personal thing on that. But in terms of what I've seen and how the games have played out, I think Grumpy Bears just has the better chance to win this one, realistically. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory for Grumpy Bears. I think it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a cat fight basically the entire time that's going on. It's going to be a game of who can throw the least. We have a couple minutes left, so let's try and go through this one real quick. Conduit Esports Ghost versus Shining Light Sentinels. Industrial, I'll start with you on that.
Conduit's going to win. Shining Light, Conduit is already on that 3-0 streak too, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. I feel like Conduit also has their team is awesome. They have BAM, they got Black Eyed Peas, they got Dobbs. They got everyone. I feel like this is a very stacked team. This is a very good team. I don't see them losing anytime soon, so I do think it's gonna go to Conduit.
All right, Shikari, what about you on this one?
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree as well. I'm recognizing a lot of these names on Conduit Esports here, and this is a team I'm pretty familiar with and how they play, and we're gonna going off that and also their schedule as well. This is looking, I would say this is pretty good for them as well. This is still, I'd say, somewhat close between these two, but Conduit Esports Ghost is 6-0 in games at this stage, and that's a pretty clear like, oh hey, we haven't dropped a game yet up against someone who's gone 2-1 nearly every single game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have our game of the night: Clown Gaming Fools versus TD Aftermath. Shinkari, let's get you started off on this one.
Well, for one thing, I gotta shout outs to Clown Gaming Fools logo. You know, I'm around a bunch of folks who are like 50-50 on Pepe the Frog, but you know what? I love him. He's just a little he's just a little guy. He's just trying to be a little goofy fellow, and
Feel
you know,
like
I love that. Yeah.
I will
love
say
him.
I think Clown Gaming has the best logo because it does have, of course, you know, they're appealing
Yeah.
the Twitch chat with that logo.
Yeah.
They're
They
winners.
very much
at
are.
the
They
end of
very
the
much
night.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
it's
so what do you? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's just great. I'm looking forward to that as well. I've been doing a little bit of research on the teams. It's TD Aftermath is taking a while, but you know, they definitely have a couple names that I recognize here as well. Like Buck B, I definitely recognize from like a couple seasons ago as well. But I'm definitely looking forward to this match tonight. Should be a bit of a banger. I don't You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna make a wild prediction for this evening and say, you know what? It's going to be, you know, it's time for TD Aftermath to win. It's time for TD. We were discussing this beforehand. Clown Gaming Fools looks really good. They're 3-0, and you know, there's a lot of my co-caster and also our host for this evening definitely enjoys, and they definitely feel really good about Clown Gaming Fools. But you know what? I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. I'm gonna be the purposefully contrarian person. That's me. So intellectual.
He's the
TD
black
Aftermath 2-1. Let's go.
He's the black sheep of the family. This is the part where we.
Ooh.
Playoffs.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with Wise. Clown Gaming, they're too heavy into it already. You know, I don't see them losing tonight.
Exactly. All right. Any final thoughts, you guys?
Not that I can think of.
I'm just ready to go to draft now.
All right. Well, we are going to be ready with us here soon at the game with Industrial and Shikari casting tonight. Best of luck to both teams. Have fun, you guys. And we're out.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Zero Gravity Gaming. We just got off of that awesome pre-show interview right there. We got some predictions going on. My name, once again, is Shinkari. I'm joined by Industrial, and we are about to get picks and bans underway of game number 1 of week number 4 here. We've got TD Aftermath versus Clown Gaming Fools. TD Aftermath is taking the blue side for this first game here. Clown Gaming is going to be on the red. And we are about to get picks and bans underway. Industrial, are you ready?
I am ready. And my question is, do you think there's going to be an Udyr ban? With the new rework.
Interesting.
The rework did just come out yesterday, though. So what are the odds that someone has learned it well enough?
So
Actually, so high.
I'm not sure, because a lot of what we've heard from Udyr after the day 1 is just he's rather weak. So maybe folks are picking him up if they're like, oh yeah, I've got the sauce, like I'm ready day 1, then like maybe we'll see it. Because like once they get, like, something I always say, and when I cast with Thousand Eyes, like they're probably sick and tired of it by now, but I say comfort is king, you know. So if you are comfortable on this new champion and you want to show it off, then yeah, go for it, because you're probably going to play that better than, you know, whatever other champion is meta if you don't have as many hours on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's the only thing I was really questioning was about that. I feel like, I don't know what I'll see yet tonight. I didn't really look too in-depth on, like, what everyone plays, so I guess we'll find out in a second.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely, if Udyr gets picked, I might actually, that seems really cool. I can't wait to see, you know, a lot of the new animations and stuff. It's really cool. I'm super hyped for it, so I'm definitely excited for that. I mean, if anything else, Yuumi did just get like a minor, like,
he got nerfed and then hotfix.
Small buff, very small buff after the hotfix. Yeah, so
you
know, maybe we'll still see some Yuumi, which is you know, oh my God. As the designated enchanter player in the room, I am so tired.
I play enchanters, and I hate Yuumi.
I am so sick and tired of everyone being like, oh, enchanters are so easy to play. It's like, yeah, whatever, but you're not good at them anyway, so cry more. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, yeah, Janna actually takes some finesse. You can't just press the R button and suddenly everything's okay, you know?
Sometimes you accidentally save the enemy team. You push them back into their own tower. You gotta be careful.
Yes. And sometimes you can even just let it hold for a little bit. You know, there's some finesse to all this stuff, okay? You know, it might be a good berry of entry, but, you know, regardless, I could be here all night.
Yeah.
Well, you know my opinions.
Before we keep ranting about enchanters, this looks like Clown Gaming Fools has picked Caitlyn. We're about to see what they're about to... Oh, Morgana!
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm doing little tip-tappy toes on my chair right now because I love Caitlyn Morgana. It's my favorite lane. I love Caitlyn Morgana. However, I will agree with Brennan. I do think Morgana is a little bit weaker now because it's nice to build Morgana as damage, but you're going to be playing her in a low econ role, as Brennan always says. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping Shurelya's will probably be the best bet here, I'm thinking. But we got Ezreal and Trundle.
Yeah, not to mention Morgana like has a pretty expensive build as well. Like on Liandry's, like and Zhonya's as well on a support salary. It's like, man, I'm just lucky to get one item completed sometimes. But you're gonna see TD Aftermath get Ezreal and a Mumu here in addition to their Trundle.
Do you think that's gonna be a Mumu support?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be, right? I mean, the only difference now is that, like, Trundle could still be flexed into the top lane if there's a big top lane bully that Trundle can 1v1. Now, is it Illaoi? Probably not. Trundle usually wants to, like, he could still fight, but I feel like in a lot of cases where Trundle 1v1's Illaoi, I think Illaoi comes out on top.
I've learned one thing about Illaoi in my lifetime, and that is if Illaoi presses R, you need to run away. And the thing is, Trundle's all about auto-attacking people. That's gonna suck, because he's gonna be on top of the Illaoi the second she ults, and it's gonna be a pain for him to get away from that. So
This does kind of force if anything, this Amumu is still rather flexible.
I feel like both Amumu and Trundle.
Yeah. If anything, I don't like this Amumu support because going into a Morgana is just not so great.
I feel like also picking Amumu after Morgana, like you're countering yourself.
Yeah. It's really tough for this Amumu to be effective in this lane, especially if he doesn't bandage toss onto Caitlyn. She can predictably put. Now this is a little bit of advanced tech that I'm not sure. Clown Gaming AD Carry knows, how to do this. But if Caitlyn can predictably put down a trap where Amumu is going to land, there's guaranteed that after a moment after Amumu lands, he's going to be snared and then headshot, which is a lot of damage early on.
Yeah, and especially if she also has level 3, she can just E back, get more distance, another headshot.
Yep. It's just you have to go on to Caitlyn, and then that frees Morgana to kind of more freely use the Black Shield. Not to mention it's going to negate all of the damage Amumu is going to do afterwards as well. So you bandage toss, you don't stun, hold into melee range, and then your damage is taken down as... Okay, well, there he is. There's Kayn. There's Kayn, everybody. Just in case the Clown Gaming needed a little bit more damage in there.
This is just... I can't look at Illaoi. I hate looking at this champion. I hate Illaoi. So, one of my, very first ever times learning top lane, and this was back when I was, starting the game, I went up against an Illaoi, and I've just been traumatized since. And, whenever my friends and I are all in a 5-stack, we all agree that we all have to go fill, no matter what happens. And whatever rule we get, we suck it up and we deal with it. I don't play jungle at all, and I've been learning Amumu jungle now because of it. It's actually been kind of, beneficial, but I would make the mistake sometimes of not banning Illaoi whenever I got autofill at the top, and that was just a mistake because Hullbreaker is now an item when it wasn't back when I was playing in 2016. So now Illaoi is just 10 times worse. So literally I just keep looking at her and I'm like, this is gonna be a problem. Swain! Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. So Clown Gaming Fools here has built a lot of damage. They have very little frontline, and their frontline is still Swain, Illaoi, Kayn in a way. There's no tank, it's just bruisers, right? And that is the only thing that's kind of putting out bells and whistles in my head. Because Akshan does present missing health damage, especially with his ultimate as well. So you can get poked and whittled down by what TD Aftermath built here before Amumu and Trundle are going to do a good job of just being a line of scrimmage and Neeko as a last effort as well, to kind of keep them away from Ezreal and Akshan, allowing them to kind of kite this fight out and deal a decent chunk of damage, which is going to be very hard for Swain and Illaoi to do.
I feel like when it comes to TD Aftermath's comp, I do feel like Akshan is the win condition in a little bit of a way, because obviously Ezreal isn't going to build Kraken Slayer or anything to really deal with those bruisers. He's just going to build regular old Ezreal, which is still going to do a lot of damage. But I think Akshan already having basically a Vayne passive built, Vayne W built into his passive, he's kind of just set. And I feel like it is going to be a little bit harder on this swing when it comes to laning, but who knows?
Yeah, we still have yet to see which champion is going where. Now I'm going to assume that is a Trundle top. It's going to be Neeko support, and it's going to be a Amumu jungle. I think
that makes the most sense in my head.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. It's Akshan top, Neeko mid, Amumu support, and Trundle jungle. Unless this is the cheeky Trundle support, in which case, maybe. But I don't know. I already did like the Trundle first pick, and having Trundle 1v1 Kayn is not going to be beneficial.
The odds that they just swap last second. I mean, as of right now, yeah, okay, they're about to lock in their Ezreal for mid lane, so
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It's if it's Ezreal and Amumu bot lane, then this bothers me a whole lot because that means that TD Aftermath went into this pick and ban phase, not really trying to pick around what the opponent was picking, but more so being like, hey, this is the comp we want to play. Let's just not care what the opponent is picking and just lock it in, right?
I mean-
Because Amumu going into a Morgana Caitlyn lane seems very counterproductive. Not to mention that, like, even if a Bandage Toss has those 2 charges now and was very good for a while, the mana cost on those skyrocketed after one nerf. And so, like, once you use like one Bandage Toss, you're already pretty gone in terms of mana when it comes to a Amumu.
They'll have to change, I feel like. Just something about... It's not even like the Amumu support that's upsetting, it's the action on top. I don't know why. I just... Like, I know he can be played top, but, like, I don't look at him and go, top laner, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just mostly... The only thing here that I'm mostly taking a look at with regards to the top lane is that if you put a ranged character up against a Lowy has a much harder time like ripping your soul out and then getting that free damage because Akshan can auto attack you from a safer distance away. So I think the ranged matchup into the top lane is mostly fine. The only problem I have is that Akshan can't like roam around, and I think that's one of the strengths to early game Akshan is that since he has the stuff and since he has the grappling hook and a decent amount of mobility, he can kind of roam. He is kind of more free to roam around.
And that's the thing, is like, top lane is an island, and also, you're against an Alawi. We all know Alawi is going to eventually build Hullbreaker, so eventually you won't be able to leave Alawi alone.
Yep.
So, it just is... I'm very intrigued to see what ends up happening there. I wouldn't be shocked if, like, something happened where, like, the lane got, like, top lane just got covered for a little bit as Action just, like, roams around. That's a little tiny thing, you know, but... I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and according to our pro comps guide over here, if y'all can definitely see it on stream right now. We're definitely seeing a big spike for the blue team in the mid lane here. I definitely agree with that for sure, right? Like Akshan is going to get like a couple items and be able to take down these rather bruiserish champions that are gonna be half tank, half damage, and not quite be the better of both worlds until kind of like late in game when these multiple AD carries, these multiple damage sources can't quite deal with them, right? So, what are your thoughts on the stats we're seeing from the pro guides here?
Looking at it, honestly, I'm a little bit curious to see, because I do think when it comes to mid game, when that Akshan kind of just like pops off and finally gets those couple items under his belt, what kind of intrigues me the most is towards the late game. It looks like they're saying that the blue team is going to fall off a bit. But my question is, are we going to get far enough in the late game to see that fall off, or is Aftermath just going to take it all the way? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
Yeah, it all comes down to kind of like this kind of early game as well, because if they are going to spike in the mid game and they want to hit those spikes and be ahead, then they need to secure this kind of early game here where they're not going to be as powerful. And once again, this definitely makes a lot of sense with like a Caitlyn and a Morgana as well, and an Alawi, right? These kind of lane bullies that kind of once the other team starts building items, they can bully as hard. But once it gets into the late game, when they have items and the other team, and I don't want to say it doesn't, but it starts to even out a little bit more. However, yes. So let's really quickly give a final thought, Industrial. What do you think is going to be? What do you think is coming out on top from what we've seen in the draft so far?
I think that Clown Gaming Fools, I think they have a really good early game, and I think as long as they establish such a like large lead in the beginning, to be able to take the game entirely. However, if they fall off even just like once in the mid game, just a little bit for that action to get ahead, I think that can just spiral out of control at one point. So it really depends.
Right.
Depends on that.
All right, so we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift of game number 1 of TD Aftermath versus Clown Gaming Fools. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Don't worry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming. My name is Shikari. I'm joined by Industrial, and here we are on the Rift of game number 1 of TD versus Clown Gaming. TD's on the blue side, Clown Gaming's on the red, and we've got ourselves the cheekiest level 1 invade. The cheekiest.
I'm already so interested in this. I saw them all running up top lane. I was like,
Oh.
why top lane of all places? Oh, they already double warded.
Yep. Well, that's just in case one goes down, you still have the other one there.
Of course, of course.
Big brain.
Massive noggin.
Oh?
Yeah. But Easton here. Oh,
Oh.
they're flashing for it. Okay. We're trading flashes in the mid lane. I think
Alright.
that's okay.
I feel
I
like
think
that's
that's
gonna
okay.
be a rough start, though, that Nico starts with E now.
True.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that too. I think if anything, Swain is going to have a much harder time dealing with Batman. CG Batman is yeah, on the Trundle here. I was going to comment how I don't like first pick Trundle because I see Trundle as more of a counter pick than anything. And Trundle is very good against champions that don't have some sort of disengage or some sort of like automatic movement tool. And Swain is very immobile in that sense, where Trundle
Yeah.
can just kind of come to the lane, put down pillar, and then suddenly Swain is trapped. And now he doesn't have flash either, so this is going to be definitely to keep our eyes on to see if Batman wants to come into this mid lane here and kind of pressure this Swain already more than he's getting pressured by the Nico here.
Yeah. I feel like with early game, it's just going to be very easy going. I don't think we'll see anything too dramatic just yet, obviously, but you're already seeing that Alawi's kind of taking that bruising a little bit from Action, just from the little passive. It's absurd. Oh,
Yeah. It's just a little guy. It's just a little guy with a little passive.
I'm gonna call him a little guy. I'd say Amuma's a little guy. Look at
Amuma's
Amuma.
definitely a little guy.
He's such a little guy. I love
Yeah,
him.
he's just a little guy. He's a
I want to
little
get the
sad.
I want to get the porcelain Amuma skin so bad, but I don't want to spend money.
God, I don't want to spend money either. That's why I was very happy when I got the crafting for Aussie Jinx. I was like, okay, looks like I have a Jinx skin now. Let's go.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Batman
Yeah, that's
gang?
my favorite thing is whenever I get crafted. Oh, dang.
yeah, okay, we got a gank here. Feathers of Force first to flash away, but that's already so much damage on that allowing top lane there. Have to be a little bit more careful, especially now. Spending that flash, Trundle's definitely not going to waste any time coming up to this top lane if that auction.
Definitely a little bit of a setback, but we'll see what happens. Teleport already getting used as well, but oh,
Ooh, yeah, immediately coming down into the bot lane here, but I think Amuma might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew here. Now in Frost is also in trouble. That's going to be the exhaust coming down there. Level 2 as well. Double kill for the Caitlyn in the bottom lane. This is a good start for them as they're now going into the mid lane here. Buckley is going to be able to pick a kill onto Sonate. And there's going to be 1-for-1 across the map, or 2-for-1 across the map here, but, that's a double kill for a Caitlyn.
yeah, that's you said it perfectly. That's a double kill for Caitlyn. Do you take Cole on Swain ever?
It's a little tough. I would probably say no, because
got a
I
Cole
think there are
Swain.
more important. Like you already have a tier, right? You already have one stacking item, and to deny yourself more, like combat stats, or even some sort of defensives, like. If they were looking to just kind of farm this lane out, then I feel like Emerald Circlet would have done a little bit more for them than a Cull.
Yeah, Cole is not. I also just think Cole. I don't know. I guess whenever I see it, I do associate it as like an ADC item. So
Yeah.
seeing Swain with it threw me for a little spin. I won't lie.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little weird, right? Because Swain doesn't benefit as much off of the attack damage that it gives than other characters.
Yeah.
Alawi here. Okay, they're fine. I thought they might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew there, but
Feathers and furs.
yeah,
straight
it's-
driven.
it's just a little odd. I know maybe they're feeling scared of being behind in lane because Nico has been doing so much to bully them. But
That
once again, I
electrocute.
feel like people just forget that Emerald Circlet is an item that exists.
Honestly, I'll be honest, I forget because you've said this name twice now, and I don't think I've ever heard it before in my life.
Emerald Circlet is the Seeker's Arm Guard, but it gives MR instead of armor.
Oh,
And
okay.
it builds into
okay.
Banshee's Veil,
Yes.
which is pretty good against their team if you think about it. not being able to be snared by Nico or not being able to be, bandage tossed by a Mumu, like all that sounds great.
Yeah, I feel like that would be nice after all.
And it was like a staple of the beginning of season 12 of the mage versus mage matchup. And if you're afraid of falling behind in the matchup against Nico, I feel like just sitting on the Emerald Circlet for a little bit will be better than the Cull, just because at the end of the day you're already stacking up a tier.
Facts.
I do agree with that, and I feel like overall, like in the long run, the Emerald Circlet would give so much more too. Now that you mention it.
Yeah. If something works, it works. At the end of the day, they're the ones playing the video game. I'm just talking about it.
Yeah. See, they're at the end of the day, they're just in team with their friends. They're having fun, and we're here, like, analyzing them, being like,
Yeah, they're definitely taking this game 100% serious. For real. For realsies.
Yeah.
This game is for realsies. Super serial.
Okay.
Deadass.
Yeah.
And Batman here is in a whole lot of trouble here. He's going to use that smite and the flash in order to get away here. Going to get a little bit of healing, but Knight has that flash back up. Is going to be able to throw out that shotgun fingers and the throw goes down. Buckbeak has some trouble. They get rooted, pulled back in, looking for the knockout. Not going to be able to find it this time. And Duke's coming up to the mid lane, a little bit of help, but they are able to find Batman. They are able to find that Trundle for a kill onto the board for Slink.
Look at nothing too interesting. Looks like Dragon's getting started. I feel like it's a little too early for Dragon still, though.
I mean, they've got Prio bot. They've got a Prio mid as well.
Ooh.
Buckbeak coming in here, gonna have that Nico ultimate comes down. That tumble does a whole lot of damage come up. It's coming across as well. Not gonna be able to find the kill on the kills here. They are able to find at least one. The Fat Chester taking incredibly low here as Infernock is coming around the side. That's gonna be Rango coming around doing the grappling around the wall as well. They still can't quite find the damage there, but Church of Rango is still looking for it. They are invisible. It looks like they're just gonna have to back away here. Batman has gotten the respawn, and now looks like the first Earthquake is going over to the blue team.
I said it was too soon. I called it. I think what went wrong there was they waited a little too long, I feel like, and also Trundle had like just spawned whenever they decided, like, oh, let's go get Dragon. Trundle was already up again. I feel like they needed to wait a little bit longer, especially because that control word was in there too, and I feel like after seeing that, that should be the sign of, okay, this is skedaddling time now. Like, we don't have enough time to take this. Like, they're gonna come soon. And I mean, they did, and Ezreal was even able to get that shutdown on Caitlyn, which may help him get a little bit more ahead in this lane and kind of catch up a bit. I mean, he's ahead on CS though, which is good.
Yeah, that is kind of the saving grace for the Ezreal right now. He does need to do a bit of catching up to do, because if we hit that mid game and when Ezreal is supposed to be at his most powerful, it's gonna be okay. Fat Jester, very good. It is going to be very important that Ezreal hits that Muramana, because that's his big power spike, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's the Mythic and the Muramana. That's why he spikes really hard in the mid game. And so if we're hitting that mid game point, and that Muramana is nowhere close to being finished, which is definitely going to be finished now. But like I said, that Muramana is going to be very important to that spike, and giving them that edge that they need in order to find the victories they need in order to win the game once they spike in the mid game.
Yeah, and there was something it does look like Kayn is going red Kayn, which I feel like was obvious, but I feel like every time I see a Kayn, I always have the fear of, like, what if they actually go blue, But good news, no blue.
Oh,
that was clean.
Yeah, that was definitely a kill I did not expect. I was at least expecting Fat Jester to dodge a couple more, but sitting in the Morgana W for a little too long is sometimes
can do that to ya.
Yeah, it's unhealthy to stay in the hot tub for too long. It's bad for you.
In the hot tub.
Yeah, it's the hot tub.
Viger...
Morgana is a hot tub streamer. She's just, you would look great in the hot tub, honey.
Oh
Boom.
my god. I mean, I guess for me, I guess my weird terms for League are like Vigar, his cage is the baby cage.
Oh
and
yeah,
then,
the baby cage, of course.
yeah, baby cage. Cloud Drake for me is Vape Drake. So whenever it comes up, we're
Va-
like, oh, Vape Drake.
Ooh.
That one's a good one, ain't it?
That is a good one here, but
Oh.
Fat Jester here has another good one here. That's going to be some ultimates thrown around here in this mid lane here. Estinate's got nowhere to go to pop that ultimate, look for a little bit of healing, but it's not going to be able to stop the shutdown from the Nico this time as Church of Rango looking for Feathers and Fur here. Might be in some trouble if they look to ultimate. That's going to be the ultimate coming down here. Church of Rango trying to get around the tentacles here, but they're already taken incredibly low. Oh no, there's going to be a tentacle spawned around the corner. They try to do the comeuppance, but it's not going to save them this time. Feathers and Fur is going to be the one that's picking up the kill in the top lane.
I was just so unfortunate. I saw him charging up his ult too, and I was like, oh no, oh no. Oh, that's so unfortunate, because I looked and I was like, did his ult, did the cooldown start anyways? And it did, and now he's gonna have to wait longer.
Yeah. There's now Fat Jester here. Oh, actually a really good job of dodging on the outside of the Curse of the Sad Mummy here. So, but now Batman, Fat Jester's the one in trouble as Batman is getting ulted by Kayn. Gonna be able to find the kill there, but Batman's still waiting on the wings here, looking for a cheeky steal. But I think your time has ended here, Batman. I think you want out of there.
Caitlyn is still just going. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
luckily for the Ezreal is just doing so much better at farming than the Caitlyn here, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing, because he's only down about 700 gold, which, you know, sounds like a lot, but if he continues to farm like this and stack up that, once again, the Muramana is just so much more gold value than what your gold will reflect. And so this Caitlyn is going to trough in power a little bit, and then that Ezreal is going to spike a lot harder than the Caitlyn in this mid-game here.
yeah, for sure.
So once again, Batman coming into the top lane. Feathers and Fur does not have that ultimate this time. Church of Rango doesn't have it either, but they are taking already a whole lot of damage here as Batman does a whole lot. That's going to be Fat Jester roaming to the top one more time. Batman flashes forward, going to be able to pick up that kill for themselves. A little too hasty on the flash, but they do pick up the kill.
I do think it's very interesting that Fat Jester is just left in for Ezreal. Just chilling.
Now Infernos in a whole lot of trouble here. Ace in the hole comes out as well. Not going to be able to find the kill this time. Induced does take a whole lot of damage. Ezreal ultimate on the back end here from downtown. Still not going to find the kill either. But Caitlyn does have Shelly to go along with her, so that's going to be a whole lot of gold into her pockets now.
I like the Kraken Slayer on Caitlyn Kraken Slayer.
I think it's a little interesting. There's not a whole lot of big frontliners on the enemy team, and it looks like, oh, wait a minute, Induced might have gone and might have been just a little too overzealous here. Going to be able to get the ultimate off. Buckbeak is taken incredibly low, but Easton is going to be able to find the first kill here as Buckbeak is trying to dodge around the Soul Gather from the Swain here. Is on the back end here. Koyesh is going to be able to find the kill on the Trundle. It's a 3-for-0 around the Drake. Is now the Hextech Drake, the second Drake of the game, is going to be picked up by the red team, by Clown Gaming.
What are the odds? Wait, what if we get Vape Drake then? Is it gonna be Vape Soul?
Oh no. We're
Inferno.
We're relatively
the
close. It's Inferno. We're getting blazed. 420 blaze it, Drake.
Hell yeah.
To go along with Vape Drake, we have 420 blaze it, Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I do want to take a notice at is wards. When it comes to warding, you can very much tell that Clown Gaming has that very underlocked. Whatever objective they know that they want to go for, like they just got Dragon, they knew they were going to go for that. Look at all the wards around there. And also, just compare that to the amount of blue wards on the map. I feel like there aren't many, and I do think that may be a little bit of an issue that we see later on. But they are clearing vision now, so maybe it won't be too much of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at the ward scores as well. I mean, we've got 15 to 10 in the mid. We've got 19 to 6 in the support position. I'm like, all this roaming from Amumu has yielded them a decent chunk of gold, but I feel like Amumu hasn't been able to complete that ward quest as quickly as the Morgana has. So now we're getting into the issue of like, hey, you know, this ward score is a little bit of an issue for the Amumu here if they're not even roaming around the map, if they're not even placing wards as they're roaming around the map.
My other thing with Amumu too is I feel like every fight I've seen Amumu in so far, I love that he's roaming, don't get me wrong. However, I feel like he has consistently died every single roam, and I think that's something that's gonna need to change. Because, like, while he is helping secure more gold for the team and that kind of stuff, he's also still contributing an extra 300 gold to either Caitlyn or Kayn or someone like that, you know?
Yeah. And because he's roaming, the the lead isn't the gold that he's being given away isn't exactly contained to the bot lane here. We're looking to see if maybe he gets something on a kills here, but bandage toss is good, follow up not so much. So kills is gonna be able to get away from this. Okay.
Oh, there's a hole breaker.
There it is.
There it is.
It was not an if, it was a when.
I honestly, I thought it was gonna be second item. I did not think it was gonna come so soon, but
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Well, when the enemy team is leaving you completely alone on the top lane, and your jungler barely ever comes up to the top, I guess it is time to build a hull breaker early, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
I just still can't believe they nerfed that item so badly. Remember when it
Yeah.
gave pirate hats to the cannon minions?
It did?
Yeah.
Oh my. See, I don't play top lane that much, so, like, I never knew that.
Okay, but
That's
I
so
don't play
cool.
top lane either, but I did know that they put pirate hats on the cannon minions in the PvE when it was first like, hey, let's do this hull breaker item thing. And then
If I knew that
they
did
took it
that.
away. Why
Why
did they
would
take it away? That's messed up.
Exactly. Small indie company. Bring back the hat.
Bring back
I'm
the
gonna
hat.
go on strike now, I think.
Yeah. The only person, but we're gonna have to see if that does anything for the team here, as Fat Jesters once again is gonna be the first to fall here, but he set up his team for success. They're gonna be able to find another kill, but man, Ezreal Ultimate across, they've used a whole lot of summoner spells in order to peel away from the enemy team. Batman has shown up, but can't quite find these spells that they're looking for. And because they were able to kite back so effectively, look at the top lane here. Alawi is taking another turret.
This is just... It's not even 20 minutes in and tier 2's already gone top lane.
Yeah. As Batman
Wow.
looking for the fight onto Alawi. I don't know if you want this one. She does have that ultimate available. If you want that fight, you have to be very careful about it. So looks like they're just going to back away here. Rift Herald is up, so if they want to go for a neutral objective here, there's clear where they can go. However, it is warded and Batman is going to be spotted out.
Does look like Rift Herald will go straight to them though. But that's probably for the best. It'll give them time to catch up and that kind of stuff, get extra gold. Even though second Rift Herald isn't as cool and effective as the first one, it's fine.
Yeah, but now, let's see. Okay, they are able to secure it for themselves here, but now the fight has started. Plum Blossom comes out, and Alawi has already taken a whole lot of damage. Has to flash out here, taking a whole lot from Ezreal as well, as Kills is going to be able to find the kill on the Buffy here. So they're finally backing away. But Church of Rango's in some trouble. Aston is still looking for the save for the Mary Sue. Not going to be able to find him this time. He's going to back away as now Infernosk is in a whole lot of trouble. Induced is here. Not going to find the knockup. Flashes away at just the right time, but Kills shows up as well. Infernosk tries to make a concerted effort to live. Not going to be able to find it this time.
So I think we're at the part where it's just concern at this point. I feel like when we talked about the game earlier, we talked about how during the mid game we should see Aftermath kind of like spike forwards a bit more. And while I do think that they're getting that, I feel like it's not enough right now. Like I said, like we talked about it earlier, like if Clown Gaming gets enough of a lead, then this is what's going to happen. And that's what's happening now. And I feel like at this point, the best that Aftermath can do is just kind of play back for a bit, farm up, get those items, kind of spike up a bit more. Because, I mean, Akshon's still only at 1 item. So,
Yeah.
he's got time before he powers up.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is, the longer that they wait, the more that this Alawi is going to take from them, right? Like,
Yeah.
they have to be careful, because like this Alawi is now kind of free to kind of push whatever lane she wants. Like obviously you want her in a side lane, and this bot lane still has their tier 2 available, but I was pretty hopeful for this team because they had a relatively decent early game. They were making some good roams. They were doing a good job of making sure that their carries were relatively safe. But like, this, I I don't want to put all the blame onto Amumu here, but Amumu is 1-6 and came out of that laning phase around 1-4, 1-5, and I wonder how much of this lead was given over because of how many deaths they gave up in the early game, right? It was like 3-5 or 3-7 when we left the early game.
I think Swain got a kill off of Mumu at one point. I think everyone at this point has gotten a kill off of Mumu at one point. Yeah. Besides Alawi. Alawi's kill was on Action. I remember that one.
Yes. And
that one was really something about.
When you go 1-for-1 like that against a team that kind of wants to bully you, if you give them a lead early, then they're going to continue doing that, right? You kind of want to go even against the lane bullies so that when you hit the time where you're able to build defenses or build items to match their damage, you start to outpace them. But because they went behind, now those bullies get to continue bullying.
Yeah, no, it's also very unfortunate too, because I feel like I still stand by the fact that I do think the win con is Akshan. I do like though that Nico built Leandries over Ludens. I feel like Leandries does like a little bit more burn, and I feel like helps those bruisers. It makes them struggle a bit more to live, so definitely a very nice item, very good choice there. But, sure. I mean, when it comes to, like, the grand scheme of things, Akshan's 0-1, and I feel like he's kind of, like... Also, it's just his other passive of, I can revive whenever I kill you, I can revive my teammates. I feel like that also will be a very vital play. I think if they get a good fight, and they end up winning, or Rango stays alive long enough. Oh.
Yeah, Amumu and Nico are coming in here. That Koyesh is going to be spell immune thanks to the Black Shield here, and immediately has to be Nico taken down here as now Batman and Amumu have to fight this kind of front line here as Infernos has to try to do his best to kite away this Kayn, but he's stuck on top of him, and it's a 4-for-1 in the mid lane as Feathers and Fur continues to push on this top lane inhibitor turret. They can't win in the split push. They can't win in the team fights. What do they still have in this game?
I mean, the issue there was that they started the team fight. Right now, they are not in control of this game. And we can tell that. They all died. Their base is getting absolutely sieged on. I mean, this is just a mess right now. But if they just wait, because at one point, in every single league game, whoever is winning is eventually going to get a little too eager to win and finish the game out. And they're going to take a bad fight. It's bound to happen at any point. And I feel like they just have to wait for Clown to take that bad fight, I think that's the only way that they can keep continuing on this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is going to be really... These next couple of minutes is going to be make or break time for TD, because they're down 11,000 gold. It's 10,000 is change, but we'll just round up a little bit. It's just really tough for this time, and this is a gold lead that is nigh impossible to really come back from, right? It is going to take a comedy of errors from the red team in order to stage this kind of comeback. Now, is it still doable? Yes, I want to keep the window of hope still open, right? Is it going to be insanely tough to do so?
Yes.
Insanely so. It's not just like, oh, well, they just need to... No, a lot of dominoes need to fall in order for this to happen here. And,
it's
they
the
don't have the vision.
Sequence of events is needed.
Yeah. We'll have to see here, because they're the ones who need to press the go button, and they are very, very far behind.
But it does look like we got our 420 Blazager coming up here, so we'll see. I mean, Rango's, I feel like, is in a good spot, but I think he's extending himself a little too far now.
Yeah, he might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew here. Good thing he has the grappling hook. And the Shurelya's battle song here is going to bring them back, the team all together here. So now we have ourselves a line of scrimmage, a little bit of Mundo Ball for a little bit. As Fat Jester is going to be able to go in on the Feathers and Fur here, but that might not have been what they looked for. Palm Blossom tries to activate, but they're going to die before that's even finished here. As CG Kills going to be able to find the kill onto Amumu now as well. And Goose is taken incredibly low, and Batman is looking for the kill, but can't quite find it as they flash over the wall, but there's no blast cone for them to get close. Eventually, after all that chasing, the Trundle is still going to be able to find the kill there, as Koyesh is going to be taken down by Ezreal here. Church of Rango is still the only member left alive. Might be able to get a res if they're able to find the kill onto Swain here. But Swain is trying to get into this as best they can, as that's going to be kills coming in from the Tribrush as well. Flashes around the wall here, trying to look for it. Not going to be able to find it this time. Caitlyn picks up the ace. And it's a 5 for 2 in favor of the red team here. They're just making their way over to the base.
Yeah, meanwhile, in their base is just Alawi.
Yep.
And they're about to get soul point now. I do think Swain should back up a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about this Swain accidentally dying, but it would have been kind of funny if he died to that. I won't lie.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
The dragon gets the shutdown gold.
The next yeah, it's like a Dark Souls
dragon.
boss.
Yeah.
It's like a Dark Souls boss. You go back to like try to pick up your bounty, but you don't. Like the enemy team gets it if they kill the dragon.
Yeah, no. Next dragon is officially worth 200 gold now, boys.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Boss music plays. Why is there a fog door around river?
Oh man.
There's a campfire by Blue Buff? What?
It's a campfire.
Whoa.
If they made well, I guess there goes Baron.
Yeah. It's I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about. This is like a very clear, like, of course they're getting Baron. Like, there's not a whole lot that the blue team.
If you look with your eyeballs, yeah. The
it's
one
like,
thing.
Yeah. Sorry, go for it.
The one thing that I do think is, I guess I see it on both teams. I don't know. I guess I prefer to have only. Actually, no, they all have Farsight.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone on Clown Gaming has Farsight or Oracle Lens. So they're basically just relying on these sole 3 wards from Morgana. And shockingly, I feel like it's turned out pretty well.
Oh yeah, I mean the reason why you go for those kind of Oracle adjustments is because, you know, you get to free scout your opponent, right? Like it becomes a visible ward afterwards. Oh no, okay. Well, Induce is gonna be able to find 1 kill here, as maybe they're looking for more, but I think they can just chill out here as Real Ultimate comes across, but that does magic damage, so it's not going to do a whole lot to these Baroned up minions here. As take a look at where Alawi is. Alawi is knocking on the front door as they continue to shove in these waves with that Hull Breaker as well, and now this bot lane turret starts to be sieged.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just reaching towards the end of times now. I think it's about time for the game to end. We're getting a massive siege. Probably gonna be one last fight, see what happens.
Yeah, Induced here being just a little bit of a front man for the rest of their team. I didn't even see Buckbee die. I don't even know what happened. I'm going to assume Feathers and Fur was the one that got the kill, as that's going to be Chris the Sad Mummy coming across here, as they're now looking for a last-ditch effort to live here. Buckbee has respawned and going to throw out the ultimate as well. This does a decent chunk of damage with this Alawi. 1, 2 kills. 1 for the Caitlyn as well. That's 3 down, 2 left. Infernosk is going to be the target. Ace in the hole comes from downtown. Is going to be able to find the kill there. Church of Rango tries to find a way out of all of these minions. Goes invisible, but Kills knows where they're going. 1, 2, kill! And that's going to be the triple kill for Caitlyn and the GGs as the game number 1 goes over to Clown Game.
A game. What a game.
What a game indeed.
I think I got a key fragment from that game.
Did you?
Yo, let's go!
Yo,
I mean,
let's go!
I don't know, I got a little thing that was like, here's a key fragment, and I...
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's huge. Wait, is there like a quest to like spectate your friend or something?
No, I don't... Actually, now that I don't even know if I got a key fragment. League might have just been tripping, if I'm being honest. I think I always only had 1 key fragment, but I'm not so sure.
Well, regardless, we've got a post-game screen here, and, you know, what do you think about that game, Industrial?
What a game. What a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope to see some changes. Maybe... I feel like TD's comp had potential. It's just unfortunate that it didn't turn out the way that it did, you know?
Yeah.
I do also think, though, looking back now at, like, the draft phase and that kind of stuff, picking a Mumu when you knew there was a Morgana, I feel like was a foolish decision. Foolish. So, maybe we'll see some improvements from there. I'm hoping to see that they'll play a little bit safe. I feel like they play very aggressively, which I think is good. However, whenever you're losing, you can't like that's not your choice to make at that point. Because if you keep playing aggressively, all you're gonna do is keep losing fights, you know. So I think from this point on, it's just they need to play safe. If they know they're not winning the game right now, they just have to wait. Because I mean, at some point, like someone's gonna mess up at one point, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they do want to play aggressive, I'm looking for like a team that wants to be more aggressive early. If they want to have a Mumu roam around the map, that's not bad, right? I just think that there's a better jungler than Trundle to lock in as your first pick for an aggressive, like, just roam around the map and gank. Because Trundle's pathing in the beginning of the game was buff, and then I think invade gank. Right? And if you're going to have someone like that, I think like Xin Zhao or Jarvan, like there's like a laundry list of champions that are very good level 2, level 3 that aren't super hard to execute on that you could argue like, hey, let's use this one instead. That would be better for the Trundle. However, we're getting into ifs, ands, and buts territory here. We're going to take that as a sign that we need to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on in picks and bans of game number 2 of TD Aftermath versus Clown Gaming Fools. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Industrial, and if you're joining us for the first time, we've got two teams ready for y'all tonight. TD Aftermath is going up against Clown Gaming Fools. We are in game number 2. Now, TD Aftermath was having a pretty good early game here, but started to fall flat once a lot of their ganks didn't exactly work out the way that they had planned. So now we're taking a look at game number 2 here. Clown Gaming Fools might be able to take this to a 2-0. Their history in terms of their schedule has shown that. But Industrial, what do you think TD Aftermath needs to do during this draft phase in order to take us to a game number 3 here?
I feel like when it comes to at least like bans, don't worry about banning like, oh, you know, we did really badly against this Trundle, or not Trundle, but like, you know what I mean, like, oh, we did really badly against Morgana Caitlyn, let's ban Morgana Caitlyn, like, you know,
Right.
like, that's not worth it. I feel like the only people who should be getting banned from last game are, like, Illaoi, and that's just because I have a hatred for Illaoi. That was an obvious thing that I was gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna cash in my one bad word for the cast, fuck Illaoi.
Everybody gets one. I'm gonna cash it in. This is a good time to cash it in. I mean, we're in game number 2. This is match point for Clown Gaming Fools. And you know, if you want to use it, you know, you got to use it while you use it. You know, so you know, fuck them. So. But yeah, I mean, the Illaoi pick was definitely really hard to deal with, but I feel like just banning Illaoi doesn't really ban that strategy from happening. Right?
I was gonna go into another tangent. That was just bans. When it comes to picks, I feel like if they want to go for that like the same style like that they played for last game, they need better picks. I feel like they need like a roaming support that has movement speed is one of my first opinions. I feel like like when I look at supports that like I feel like Amumu's good, but like imagine if you had Bard.
Sure.
Like I just feel like
the quote unquote roaming support.
Exactly. I just feel like they need someone with like a little bit better movement speed, and I also feel like the issue was with the roaming too is like Ezreal wasn't fully set up in lane. Like by time Amumu started roaming and that kind of stuff, Ezreal was down how many kills? Like Caitlyn got a double kill within the first blood and then second kill, so that was a whole to do.
Right.
So I just feel like if you're also gonna roam as a support, I feel like you also have to make sure your ADC set up like for success even after you leave. And I think that's another factor that I believe in. I also just feel like, yeah, I feel like so synergy needs to be in between like the support and jungler, not like as people, but like as champions, you know? I do think Trundle and Amumu was not the best, as we saw. So maybe we'll see like some little CC chain of just not fun time or something like that. Yeah. But I think that's something.
Yeah, I think that like the Amumu pick, I didn't exactly hate it as like a roaming support, right? Like this was a pick that I don't exactly hate because Amumu is already like a jungler, used a champion that already kind of roams around the map, and Trundle would like it to have someone to kind of set up the troll pillar for him, so he doesn't have to use the troll pillar as like an engage tool, but rather as a tool like once the engagement has happened and he's already on top of them, to keep them kind of where they are, or to limit their movement once the engagement has happened. So it's not exactly the Amumu that I dislike, it's just kind of like a lot of failed ganks happened, and then Amumu is stuck behind in levels, stuck behind in gold because he hasn't been using his friendship stacks from his support item, wasn't warding around the map as actively as Morgana was. Like if we took a look at like that mid-game ward score, like Morgana was like far and away much better than Amumu, and I think that's kind of like the biggest thing about having a support roam around the map is you have someone with a ward item and actively buying wards that just has that more of gold available to them in order to do so, you know, roaming around with the jungler actively gaining vision, right? The only real pick that I didn't like was like if you want to do that kind of like early-ish game support jungle roaming around the map being a two-man gank squad, lock in an early game jungler that's very good, like a Jarvan or a Xin Zhao, and lock in the Yuumi, right? Yuumi is so good when she's paired with a jungler, like it's insane what you can do, right? just a little bit more power into that early game with the jungle. And I think for the most part, like, picks weren't too bad. And I agree that, like, bans don't really need to change.
Don't encourage Yumi to get picked. Don't encourage it. I was thinking it, but I didn't say it because I didn't want to see it. You know what I want to see? AP
Okay,
Malphite top. AP Malphite top. Every single time.
Malphite top. Okay.
Shamrock Malphite too. That has to be the skin. Otherwise,
Of
it doesn't
course.
count. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
that's what we're gonna see with skin.
If Malphite slams the ground and there isn't a 4-leaf clover, are you actually like playing the video game?
I love Shamrock Malphite. I love that he's just a green rock instead. It is such. I recently unlocked Darkstar Malphite in like one of those chest things, and I like thought about it for a second, and I was like, realistically, am I even gonna use this skin? Because I already have the best skin in the game. I have Shamrock Malphite.
Yeah.
So
You have a skin that very, very few other people have.
I know. I don't even know how I got it. I got it one day, and I was screaming with joy.
Yeah.
We did
I have a
Morgana got
similar
banned.
experience because I have Pulsefire Ezreal. I have no idea how I got Pulsefire Ezreal. Like, literally no clue.
I have like skins that I'll purposely keep in my like shop that I won't unlock just because I think they're funny to look at every time I look at my little loot bag. I have like, you know, I call it the big head Vladimir skin because he's bald and they made his head like exponentially bigger.
Oh, Nosferatu?
Yeah, I think it's that one. He just
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
His splash looks great. But
Yeah.
we got a Mordekaiser and we also have a Morgana ban and a Trundle ban.
Yeah. It really tells me that TD Aftermath like very highly values the Trundle pick. If they're like, okay, we're not gonna pick it, let's immediately ban it away. It's either that or they're really scared of the enemy team locking it in as well, right? And you know, it's interesting to see here, but you know, with that Morgana banned away as well, Clown Gaming Fools might be going for something that is it's still pretty powerful even after the nerfs.
I'm waiting
do
for
it.
it. I'm waiting for the Nami.
They've got the Lucian.
They got the Lucian. Where's the Nami?
Yeah. Where's it at? Come on. Well, that I mean that still is a champion for sure. But one thing we do know with this Ornn lock-in is we're probably not going to see a Hull Breaker this week.
Hey, Christ. I hate Hullbreaker too. I don't know. Everything about the top lane, just the concept of it, I don't enjoy playing. Like, it's not the way I enjoy playing League. Like, I enjoy inting in bot lane where I have someone else stuck with me and they have to live through it with me. I love it. I live for it. But but top lane is an island. Top lane is an island, and every time I get top lane, as I talked about earlier at the 5, like we'll do the 5-man fill. Whoever's jungling, they're like, you know what, Janelle, we're giving you the true top lane experience. I'm like, okay, okay. I learned to accept it. But we also have the Braum locked in, which I think isn't Braum good right now for some reason. I don't like Braum as a champion though.
I really so I will say that Braum is actually really good into both Ornn and Lucian. If Braum is cheeky, he can stop the second half he can stop the first half of the Ornn Horn, but that does leave him vulnerable to the culling as well. So he can still block it and not take the knockup. I think he still gets brittle though, and they get
Tommy.
So this is still an insanely good team comp for Braum here, right? Braum blocks basically all of the major ultimates that Clown Gaming has locked in here, and that means that Ezreal is going to be very easily protected. And not to mention, the level 1 potential that Braum has is very, very strong. Just by the fact that he can just put his passive onto every single person and have a stun for the entire enemy team means that they can go for a cheeky invade and deny some experience, some gold away from whatever jungler Clown Gaming Fools looks to bring here. This Braum pick is very, very good.
Do you like that they banned Sejuani and Nunu? Just because I do feel like Braum... in my opinion, I think if Sejuani and Braum were on the same team, not fun. Because don't they basically have the same passive where you stun or you freeze them, you know? Yeah, that would suck. Because then
the only difference is that Sejuani is melee specifically. Braum is whoever he auto attacks, then starts stacking up. But yeah, it's Sejuani as another mega tank here means that like Mordekaiser Ezreal becomes that much more dangerous, and you're free to just kind of put the most amount of damage into the mid lane possible for TD Aftermath here. So taking off the board, I definitely like a whole lot. Nunu is kind of in the same vein here, but Viego being locked in, that is really good. What do you think about the Viego pick?
I like Viego. I feel like, however, I do feel like Viego, at the end of the day, at least in my opinion right now, he's a hit or miss champion. You're either gonna eat your ass off or you're gonna do amazing. And it's one or the other. It doesn't matter how much skill you have. You could be the best Viego player in the game, and it's either gonna go one or way. I feel like it's a coin flip with Viego every single time. However, I do think that if Viego gets an early, like, good start, he'll be fine. He's straight chilling. And also, I feel like it's not gonna be fun if one of these people die and then Viego just gets to become one, because even though they're sacrificing a little bit less of a front line with their jungler being more of an assassin, if they kill Mordekaiser or Zac, they get a free tank for like a good couple seconds, and Zac also has a very good gap closer with his E, so it'll be nice.
Yeah, once again here, I am interested about this lock-in with the Corki here. I do think it's pretty good to kind of go along with the Braum as well. I'm just, TD Aftermath went for a double marksman comp in the previous game. Now, this does still give them a decent chunk of mixed damage, because Ezreal and Corki do kind of fit in the slot of they do both. Corki obviously just a little bit more magical than physical, and Ezreal being more physical than magical, even though they both kind of do both. It's just when you have Ezreal and Corki with a team that has like some pretty high engage with Zac and Braum as well, like it's just a little interesting to me, and I'll have to see how it plays out, because it seems like a bit of a nombo, but Corki package delivery plus Glacial Fissure and Let's Bounce is a very, very strong initiation tool that basically keeps the entire enemy team around the same place for Ezreal and Corki to just kind of throw out as many skill shots as they'd like.
When it comes to like looking at these teams, I feel like TD is definitely, I don't think they're gonna play the same way as they did last game. I think Braum is gonna stick with Ezreal for the most part, because also, like, yeah, Mordekaiser does a lot of damage, but also he's more of that like bruiser boy, and he's probably going to be stuck in top lane with Ornn for a good majority of the game.
Right.
So I do feel like, especially with Lucian and Nami, if Braum leaves lane for a little bit too long and they catch on that he's not coming back anytime soon, I mean, Ezreal has a need to get away. Like, Ezreal, I do, like, it's going to suck, though, because it's Lucian and Nami, but I do think Ezreal is a good choice for, like, a champion to, like, be like, hey, have fun by yourself in the bot lane. Like, whenever my friends tell me that that's happening to me, and they're like, hey, we're just gonna abandon you and go roam all the time, I pick Ezreal. Ezreal will always have that safe disengage. I feel like he has the last hits with the Qs are very nice. I think overall he's a good champion. However, we'll see what happens if Braum roams, because I'm assuming Nami's gonna go electrocute, and Lucian is Lucian.
Yeah, I mean, I would be hard-pressed to see Braum roam around them. I don't think Braum's going to roam around the map.
I don't think Braum will roam.
So good against Nami Lucian. Like, the shield just stuffs all of their damage. It's really insane. Like,
if Braum roams, that's just trolling at this point, in my opinion.
I'll agree with that statement. It's just way too good against Nami Lucian, and you don't exactly need it for Zac, right? Zac is not going to make any sort of like over-aggressive plays. He's not going to do buff gank, right? He's going to do a full clear first, and then make his way to whatever lane, right? Around level 3, level 4, right? He's more looking to get as much HP and healing as possible before he does that. And while we're taking a look at that, we do have our pro builds, our pro champs guide on the screen right here for all of y'all to take a look at. There is all of our picks and bans as it gets through to the end here. We're getting locked in. Very, very good looking here for the teams. Yeah, we already get to take a look here. This blue team, once this gets to the late game, I totally agree that this Zac can be very hard to kill. Braum scales very well. Corki scales really well. even though Ezreal spikes in the mid game and starts to fall off a little bit, you know, he's still, it's not like a fall off, it's like a plateau, right? And Mordekaiser, the longer this game goes on, is only going to get more powerful, right? Lucian does have more power in the late game now after his changes, but it's not going to be as much as the Ezreal, right? So this Nami Lucian lane, really good early. Viego is going to look to snowball early as best he can, but if he can't, he's going to be very, very horrible.
I mean, I think you put it perfectly, my friend.
Yeah. What else? What other things you find interesting about our little pro champs little draft page here?
I think it's just funny that under the invade tab there's no one there. No invades. Not allowed. But
Yeah.
I do agree with like the game style tactics kind of thing. I do feel like the split will be very good for TD, and I do think that picking and sieging, like, that also makes sense for Clown at the same time. When it comes to the like way that they're gonna say like who wins like overall, I feel like we're still gonna have that concern of like if Cloud pops off early again and they pop off well enough to where like they just set such like a drastic like difference between themselves and TD, I don't think TD can catch up. And that's the only thing I'm worried about, is that I think TD can come back eventually, but they need to scale. They need to win. They cannot just be fighting for shits and gigs anymore now if they want to take this win. You know, they have to be careful. They need to be decisive. They need to be like, are we 100% sure we want to commit to this? And, I mean, they also have, in my opinion, fairly good disengage, too, so I feel like they should be using that when needed as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely agree. Like, this is a team that, like, they can't be as aggressive as they were in the previous game. Even though Braum's level 1 is very, very good, like I mentioned before, there's not a lot of other very good level 1s on the rest of the team, right? And it's going to be play defensive early, spike mid, and hopefully ride that to the end of the game. And on the enemy team, it's like, okay, let's bully them early so they can't spike mid, and then let's finish the game, right?
Yeah.
And while Orin is kind of counterintuitive to that idea, you know, I think for the most part, Clown Gaming Fools played that. If they play similarly as they did in game 1, we'll probably see. That's how we'll probably see this go down here. But I do want to, before we go into break, I do want to get your prediction. Who do you think's taking game 2 here?
I think if TD makes the changes needed that we talked about, like what we say that they think they need, obviously we may be wrong, but I think if they make some changes, make an effort, especially because their team comp from last game is so different from their team comp this game, then I think as long as they play safe, they're fine, they'll win. But if they get a little too aggressive, then for sure, Clown Gaming.
Alrighty. And with that, we're going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 2 of TD Aftermath versus Clown Gaming Fools. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Industrial, and here we are on the Rift of TD versus Cloud Gaming. And now look at where we are. We're back where we started in game one, except on the other side of the map. We're in the mirror dimension. Industrial, are you ready?
Dimension. I'm so ready. I'm so excited. I also
for the mirror dimension or for the game?
For the game. I thought
okay. I gotta just want to make sure that we're clear.
Yeah.
On what we're excited for. I'm excited for the mirror dimension. I'm rather resident sleeper about this game. I'm kidding.
I was really hoping that Braum would be able to land something and we'd see a big old fight, but apparently not.
Yeah.
But you are seeing that early warding though already, which is they got 2 wards on Batman's blue side already, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Yeah, they have the entire jungle is lit up right now. There is not a place that Zach can start that they don't know. The only problem is the ward is specifically in the Raptor pit. I don't know if they get actual vision of Zach like getting into the bush there. So they won't. If Zach is smart about the way he navigates through the jungle, he might be able to dodge around whatever wards, but I don't see how you can play around something that's invisible. He might get spotted out.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he's gonna have to take Raptors too, so
Right.
It's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing too busy going on. Obviously, we're only 2 minutes into the game. Lots of stuff going on. We got Ocean Drake coming up though.
Yeah.
You think
If we
it'll
were
be
to see
Big Drake?
anything, it's gonna be down here with Nami Lucian, right? Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
level Dash level 1 is Dash and Ty Caller's blessing for the Nami and Lucian. So like this is going to be a lane that like will not waste any time.
They're ready to
get
go
into
in.
Yeah. Speaking of ready to go, level 2. There it is. Ty Caller's blessing coming out. Looking for Fat Chester here. Infernosk is actually going to take a bit of damage on the backside here, but CG Kills is actually taken incredibly low here. Going Essence shifting forward, looking for the damage, but Koyesh is going to keep them away here as they're actually looking for the kill themselves. They might actually be able to find it. Flashing forward here. Going to slow them down a little bit. Looking for that last auto attack. Not going to be able to find it this time. They're trying to turn it around. Infernosk is double kill with first blood going over to Braum in the bot lane. Holy moly!
Ezreal did get 1 kill.
Yeah.
But wow. I mean, you're already seeing how brutal that shield from Braum is already.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so unfortunate because, like, the first bit when they got in, they, like, unleashed everything. But they did it on the Braum instead. And then instead of, like, they kept going for the Braum, he put his shield back up, and from there, it was just... It was close, but not close enough, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, I think it didn't look like Braum didn't, with his shield up, didn't fully block the Q from Lucian. So Ezreal was actually taken pretty low at the beginning of that engagement there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with the shield up, it's kind of hard to kind of, like, you know, maneuver yourself around Braum, especially without, you know, dash available, you know, as the Lucian here. So, you know, really, really good job. And Koyesh did it with the heads up, like, oh, hey, I can actually get a kill onto Ezreal was really good, but induced. Looking for Church of Rango up in the top lane here. Gets the stun. They're looking for a little bit more. They're taking the Iron Juggernaut pretty low here, forcing the flash out of Mordekaiser here, forcing him to back as well. You can bet that this Viego is going to make another stop in the top lane.
For sure. Faux show.
Oh, show, as the kids say.
Yes. It's just... I guess, Braum is, I feel like, has always been, like, consistently, like, a dead champion for me in League of Legends. Like, I don't see him often. I never realized how much his shield blocked.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Braum is a very good champion, but, still taking a lot of damage from kills and Koyesh here. Doesn't look like they want to go in on more, but Zach is waiting in the wings here. Spotted up by the ward. Play more Braum.
Maybe I should play Braum. I do think Braum... I just feel like his kit isn't, like, fun for me.
Okay.
But then again, I play Nami, so, like... I play...
Yeah, keep going. Because I wanted to give you a blast. I wanted to give everyone who's listening right now a blast from the past. Braum was loosely based off of a Reddit post of someone who wanted to play support but was upset that like every support you could play back in like 2012, 2013 was all like these really girly characters, girly in quotes, right? And so he recommended a design for a champion named like Arnold or something, and he like slapped mustaches onto them, but we'll have to wait because Koyash, that's an exhaust coming down as well. This is Viego coming in as well. This is going to be Infernos taking incredibly low. They're going to be in a whole lot of trouble here. Ziggs bomb comes out as well. They're looking for the kills, but it's a wash in the bot lane.
That's so unfortunate. That was a lot of effort put in for nothing. Well, I guess they got flashes, which matters, but now it's looking like Lucia and Nami are about to get a taste of their own medicine here in a second with Batman coming down, but he may be going away. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like that area is warded. I do want to shout out that like the warding done by Clown Gaming here has been top notch this whole game, and even though that ward right there around the corner is usually not like a ward that's like good against Zac, you do need to kind of ward these kind of odd angles because that's kind of what Zac thrives off of, right? Like you need to change the way you ward because of Elastic Slingshot, he just engages from like angles that normal junglers would not take.
Oh, for sure. And I do feel like we're already seeing a little bit of a change from Aftermath as well. I mean, they have that little bit of a gold lead. On top of that, I feel like they are warding more. They're being more aware about like what's going on in their surroundings, and they are playing it safe like we talked about. We haven't seen anything too drastic. I mean, we watched, I guess, 2 quote-unquote failed ganks, even though flashes were popped, but who knows? They may get flash up in time before another gank comes or another kill goes on those people, so I feel like TD is playing to this comp, and I think they're playing it well.
Yeah, for sure. This is already looking significantly better than the previous game, and it's also reflecting in the gold as well, right? Like they were farming so much better than their lane opponents, kind of across the map as well. Like Ezreal was farming better than well, now in this game it's not exactly coming out as well, but like
he was like 20 ahead of Caitlyn at some point.
Yeah, it's still like they're still farming well. They're still keeping up with their lane opponents, and for the most part, like they're not making super greedy plays early. Like they're playing pretty safe, like you recommended. They're playing pretty conservatively, and they're still like they came out on top for the most part. I think the greediest thing that they've done was Essence shift forward trying to get the kill on the Lucian, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, even now, like, they're taking Dragon, and they're doing it pretty safely as well. They've been very safe so far, and I feel like that's definitely going to pay off for them. Because, I mean, if they're also ahead in the early game, then, like, these lane bullies are going to have an issue. And it already looks like there's an issue right now.
Yeah, for sure. As we see Church of Rango here does have that ultimate available. Okay, going to pull Induced into the Shadow Realm here. Yami no Gemu, but it looks like Induced is just going to just sit outside the wall here. As Feathers and Fur still trying to keep the Rift Herald pulled here, but I think that's just going to be a leash for the blue team as they pick it up and give it over to Bat.
Damn. That is just... What timing is all I really have to say. That was just very unfortunate timing for Mordekaiser to walk down. But at least he got away.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Infernal Drake. The gold lead is still pretty good. I think... I'm gonna wait for this
Wait a minute, Fat Jester here, looking for the kill on the kills here. Actually gets the stun off as well. Has a decent chunk of damage. That's gonna be the Glacial Fissure coming across as well, but they need to use that Ezreal ultimate. That's going to be the culling in order to keep them off for just a little bit of time. That Ezreal ultimate not available just yet. They won't be able to secure the kill, but Nami is taking incredibly low. Lucian is taking real low here. I don't know how much longer they can sit in this thing.
I mean, I think one thing too that I also liked was the Ezreal at the very beginning of the game, instead of starting tier like he did last game, he did start Longsword, which I think also has made such a like impactful.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an ultimate down for Infernos here, as he might have accidentally pressed that R button. But the more bigger trouble is that Induced is getting one and Ziggs is getting the other. They get the full heal off the resets, and now that's 2 kills going over to the jungler. That's another kill going over the jungler and 1 into the mid lane. which is now definitely favored towards Ziggs now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is I love bot lane. I feel like bot lane is a very important lane. Oh, for a second, I thought the Ziggs and the Viego were on the same team, and I was like, oh my god. But no, that's fine. I had a moment there. Let's see. I mean, wards are really good too. I feel like Clown Gaming is also adapting, you know? They're seeing that TD is making these changes, and I feel like that Clown Gaming is ready to change too, and be ready for that, and be prepared, which I also like.
Yeah, as we now take take stock of where we're at. 11 minutes into the game, 2 kills to 3, 16.7k gold to 17.3, only 600 gold in the lead. That might change a little bit after they might pick up the Buckby is going to have to change back here. That's going to be Zach trying to make Ziggs and Viego kiss. That's going to be shutdown gold going over to Buckby in the mid lane. The kill transfer gold, definitely A+.
I don't understand why fight when Rift Herald take tower. That's my view of it, at least.
I don't know.
Yeah. But, looks like bot lane's about to have fun.
Slingshot over the wall. They're looking for it. All right, gonna make Nami and Lucian kiss. Glacial Fissure to follow up. Really good. Ezreal ultimate does not land this time. Still fishing for the Nami here. Still can't quite find it. Infernos not gonna hit by the Mega Inferno Bomb here. But they're still waiting in the wings for Lucian to maybe be just a little bit too overzealous. But these HP bars are pretty low. CG Kills gets the right engagement in. But that's gonna be Elastic Slingshot right on top of Lucian. Tidal Wave comes across. Gets blocked up by Braum. Taking them to about half HP. And here comes Induced in from the side. Has that movement speed as well. Fat Jester is gonna be the first to fall here as Induced gets that reset. Will they look for more? They do have Braum available to them. As that is very odd to look at, as he does not put his shield up while Viego is Braum. You saw that as he was just kind of walking around with like the shield, like little particle in front of him.
Yeah, he was just funny looking. He was a funny looking guy. We're seeing the Cole again. Ziggs has Cole.
Yeah.
I just no comprehende.
Yeah, no comprehend. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, if it worked for them the first game, you know, let them have it. You know.
Yeah.
I am still of the opinion of just because something worked doesn't mean it's good. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Oh my God, Corki. Package delivered. Amazon's real quick with them these days. Holy moly, is Batman now in some trouble with Ziggs. Was taken incredibly low as Induced 1v1ing the Fat Jester, forced out the exhaust here, as now it's Zach who's in some trouble. Infernos might have bitten off a little bit more than they could chew, maybe went into the wrong part of town, as Easton is still looking for these kills here. Buckby and Fat Jester here are kind of trapped here. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down. They're still looking for the kill here. Glacial Fissure comes across, going to peel them off just a little bit here as Buckby's doing a good job. Elastic Slingshot is looking to extend this engage as Mordekaiser has teleported in. Pulls Induced into the Shadow Realm. He wants those star chips. He wants those locator cards. He's looking for your rarest card. Is he going to be able to pick it up? Absolutely. He's going to Battle City Finals. That's going to be the Ornhorn coming across, going to knock this Battle City champion into the air. So the Nami Wave is going to be able to pick that one up for themselves. Call them the Seal of Orichalcos, because this man goes down. Doesn't matter if you're the king of games.
That was a long fight.
Raphael was the guy who beat Yugi at the beginning of season 4. I forgot his name. See, whenever Mordekaiser pulls... Okay, wait, hold on. Buckby here, being dogged by kills here, but I think they're going to prove their name right. Okay, never mind. Of force the flash out, but every single time Mordekaiser pulls someone into the Death Realm, I make Yu-Gi-Oh references. But Batman not going to be able to find the steal this time, and they might have been just a little too eager to make that hero play there. There's no clip for Twitter this time. That's going to be... Ooh, look at that. We got the Vape Drake.
Vape Soul. Lucian did a good choice with the Kraken Slayer. I'll say that. I like Kraken Slayer.
Yep.
Ezreal,
if you really want the damage from Nami's Electrocute and Tycolor's Blessing to scale later, you need the Kraken Slayer. But keep going with your point. I'm sorry.
Ezreal went Essence Reaver, which I think is a little bit interesting for, I guess, I don't know, I feel like Manamune is always like my rush item, I guess, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just to see whatever mythic they build is really the thing, because now they can't build like Trinity Force or Divine Sunderer.
Yeah,
so
I
this
mean,
is like, this is probably going to be the Duskblade of Drakthar build.
I was about to say, is this a Duskblade angle then?
Yeah, probably.
Most likely.
It does give them a neat defensive if they're able to find like assists or kills in teamfights against the Viego.
Yeah. But we are getting to that time. It looks like it's deemed well enough, even though a turret has yet to gone down. It's well enough mid-game. Everyone is crowded around this Rift Herald. Everyone wants it. But someone's going to want it more, and I guess we'll see that soon.
Yeah, as we now see Induce looking for Batman here. This is a good 1v1 for the Viego here, as Nami is coming in as well. The Fat Jester is looking to turn this around for his team as well. Already 2 stacks on the passive. That's going to be explosive. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down as well, and the Fat Jester's not going to be able to survive this one, as they're now looking for the rest. Gets the reset. Heartbreaker over the wall, looking for Batman here. Can't quite find it, taken incredibly low, but that's going to be Zac going down. Gets the reset, looking for a little bit more. Knocked into the air though. It's going to be going down, as now they're Mordekaiser. Corki trying to use the Valkyrie to try to get away. Feathers and Fur taking up the turret for the team, trying to turn this into something for themselves, but they're going to get, Induce gets the reset, they get out, and that's going to be, Corki finding a cheeky kill for themselves at the end of that engage, but it ends up being a 4-for-1 around the Rift Herald.
I mean, and already that gold lead that we saw at the beginning is already gone. TD is now at 25k, and Clown is at 28k, and it's getting to that point, like, it's becoming mid-game, it's getting to that point where TD should be able to come back from this at some point, and I do think it will. I think it still will happen, honestly. This Braum...
Yeah.
That's all I really could say, is just Braum. Braum exists.
Yeah, Braum.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Braum is a champion. Based off of a forum post... And
yeah, you never
to make a
finished
character
that.
named Angus. As hold on, Fat Jester, take him really low here. I do love the gumption of him going out and warding here, but he's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, okay, he's fine. Everyone's fine. We're all fine. Okay, the Fat Jester's perfectly fine.
Everything's okay.
Angus, was the loose. So this guy is loosely based off of a forum post. The reason I'm not gonna say he's based off of, right? Because game designers always get in trouble. It's like, oh, they got the idea from my thing, and then like people are like, oh, well, you should pay me money, because regardless, that's a tangent. So his whole idea was like, he was a big, buff, burly lumberjack guy, and he would punch his friends to like give them a little like encouragement punch, like, get in there, you can do it. It does like a little bit of damage, but then it buffs them. It's like he like makes a barbecue and it heals them. There's like an image of him wrestling Volibear. Like, he's just this gigantic, very hairy man in a lumberjack wear, and it's very funny. His name is Angus.
It would have been funnier if it was Arnold or whatever you said before.
Yeah, it was Arnold. Yeah, but Angus is another good name. It's like the name of a steak. It's like an Angus steak. The big beefy man.
I'm down with that. I rock with that.
Yeah. I ended up making my producer hungry, which, welcome to my world.
W.
Yeah,
W.
welcome. Yeah. Shout out to our producer to this evening for dealing with all, this energy and just having to be mostly quiet about it.
Yeah, no, I'll hear him laughing in my ears every now and then, and sometimes I gotta like stop myself. I wanna talk to him, but you guys can't hear him.
Yeah. Who are we having a conversation with? My friend.
I'm just gonna start telling people I speak to the walls. They're just sitting on a ward.
Yeah, they are sitting on a ward. Okay, Cullen coming across here. Fat Jester actually taken really low here, but this is going to be Batman's time to engage. They got the package delivered as well, but now Corki is kind of by themselves here as Braum goes down. The Church of Rango is looking to pull someone into the Shadow Realm. They might have done so. Oh, no. They did it to Induced, and Induced immediately became untargetable. So I think, yeah, the ultimate was canceled, so they weren't able to do so. So now it's 4-for-0, and the red team gets to go over and pick up the first Vape Drake.
I mean, we're seeing objective bounties come up. We're seeing that issue again with warding. I think it's at this point where I feel like whenever TD feels like they're very far behind, I feel like that honestly has an impact on their playstyle. But I think at the end of the day, if they keep pushing through, they still have that chance. They still have the opportunity. They can play safe. They can wait out for that one bad fight. Like, at the end of the day, they're, a dragon behind, only 6k gold. It's 2 turrets. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
it could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be worse, but 6,000 gold is still like a... It's not...
An item.
I think you're right. It's like not insurmountable, but it still is going to take some errors from the opposing team in order to cash in on some of these objective bounties, and especially the bounty on the Ziggs as well. Like, that's 900 gold that you could grab for yourself right there, which is definitely a decent chunk for sure. But, you know, there definitely needs to be a little bit more attention onto these turrets here, especially if you want to be able to pick up these objective bounties.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, League of Legends is an objective-based game. As much as you want to kill people, you do need objectives.
Yeah, Church of Rengo taken really low here by Feathers and Fur and Koyesh, but that's a real good time by the Fat Jester here. They're looking for the Elastic Slingshot, going to be able to land it, but really well-timed bubble by Koyesh here. Going to be able to slow CG Batman down with that Tie Caller's Blessing on the Feathers and Fur as well. Looking to interrupt the leap, not going to be able to find it this turn. Ornhorn gets blocked up by the shield from Braum as Church of Rango pulls Koyesh into the Shadow Realm here, but doesn't really have an opportunity to really engage onto the Nami here. If they leave, they're going to be in a 1v2, and they don't really want that, especially not with a whole lot of stats that Nami can give. So it's a wash up in the top lane, but the red team is not letting up. Look at where Viego is.
Oh no. Oh no. He's just waiting. Oh. Buckby narrowly lives.
Yeah, now Induced is here. Whether he wants to fight or not, I'll take that as a no. So he's blast counting over the wall here. So let's be careful. There's the knock up here. When are they going to engage? It's not this fight at the top is like on the edge of a knife right now.
I know, it's just it takes one person stepping just a little too close at this point. But it does look like Induce is heading towards mid lane, gonna push out that wave. There goes another turret.
Yep.
And yeah, it looks like this top lane fight, this little skirmish is gonna come to a close. Everyone's back and now resetting. Next Victory is up in 2 minutes as well. Baron's kind of just chilling right now, too.
Mm-hmm. As now we're, game seems to be slowing down a little bit. The siege on that top outer turret has finally gone down, but, you know, the rest of the team is doing a good job of, like, forcing out things across the map here, pushing out the wave mid and grabbing the turret bot. They might not have been able to grab that outer top turret, but I would argue the inner bot is just a little bit more valuable.
I feel like what's going on in this game right now is obviously very much in Clown's favor. Clown is in control of this game. And I'm just hoping TD realizes that. And
Ooh, once again, great Braum shield to block the first hit of that R right there. Is now Infernos trying to get away, but that's going to be a Heartbreaker picking up the kill here. So now they're looking for Fat Jester as he's knocked into the air. Heartbreaker number 2 is going to find the double kill here as Church of Rango finally shows up. It's a little too late to help out your teammates here. Is now with 2 people down, they're using that opportunity to go. But as Batman knocked into the air, tries to make Nami and Lucian Kiss going to be able to do so here, but he's taken incredibly low. He does not have that passive just yet. Buckby does have some damage, but Exhaust is going to keep them alive for now. It's a 3-for-0 across the map.
Just looking at the scoreboard, all those shutdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, we're even seeing the difference in vision score all over again. I do think it's better. I do think just the Fat Jester has learned from last game. He knows to ward now. His vision score is higher than Nami's, which love that. We're seeing an R get thrown down by Ezreal for no particular reason, I guess. But Dragon is coming up in the next 30 seconds or so, so...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is, we're still looking at a game that could possibly, you know, be blown open, right? Gold games do end up being a little coin flippy. This Fat Jester is going to live to save the day. Gold games sometimes are pretty coin flippy, so, you know, there's still hope for TD here, but you know, it's starting to get into hopeless territory as we get closer and closer to that 10k gold lead, which is usually the time where I'm like, all right, well, you know, both teams played hard, but this is going to be the initiation right here. Mega Inferno Bomb already doing so much. Ornhorn is already huge as well, but they're already able to find one kill here as Church of Rango still has that Shadow Realm available, but they're going to go down. This is now 3 members of the blue team down as Feathers and Fur is the only member just fighting them off the Drake. They tried to take a fight, and even though they were able to pick up a shutdown on the Viego, it's still not enough in order to keep them in this game, as now that 10k gold lead difference starts to get closer and closer now. Second Vape Drake picked up.
We're at Soul Point now too, and at this point, I think the game just keeps snowballing from out of control from here. I mean, there still has yet to be a single turret taken down on TD's side. It just seems like why is Batman going in on this, you know?
Yeah.
There was no reason for Batman to do that.
Yeah, Batman here definitely biting off a little bit more than they can chew. Hopefully to maybe just get, like, maybe a cheeky, like, I'm going to clear the wave and maybe find a cheeky kill on Dilution by themselves. But it's not like the enemy team, like, left. They just, like, went around the corner.
Yeah. There's a lot that can be worked on here. And we're seeing that you can already tell that Clown Gaming really, really wants Baron. You can just tell by all of the wards up there. I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 6? That's insane.
Yeah.
That is...
Yeah, they've got the vision control already, and they have been doing such a good job of maintaining control of the map. So, you know, this Baron is the only real objective on the map for them. And by getting there early, they do have a chance of doing a real good job of getting it because they have all this vision. And now Induced, they might have picked up that, oh no, they might have picked up the objective bounty here, but Induced is going to become Corki, pick up the kill, become Braum, and now that's 2 kills down. There's 2 deaths down for the blue team here. Is now, how do they defend this Baron push?
There's nothing that can be done at this point. Personally, I feel like this is just the slowly coming to an end, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw last game, too. Clown Gaming got Baron, and then they ended.
Yeah,
I think we're just
CG
gonna
Batman
be
here.
to that.
CG Kills is going to be able to chase them down and be able to pick up that kill for themselves. And it's it is so almost depressing to watch a Braum who's bought a Bramble Vest, has so much HP, just goes down to Illusion so quickly. Now they don't waste any time immediately shoving in these waves here.
Yeah, I mean, you already see, like, you're just seeing the power of Lucian Nami still. Regardless of what happens, I feel like it'll always be there. And Nami has that Chemtech buffer now, so no more Grievous wins for anyone. Mordekaiser's gonna have a fun time healing, Zack's not gonna have a fun time healing, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's now... We might see another fight happen around this mid turret here as well, because Viego is waiting in the wings, throws out that mist, is looking for a flank, but Fat Jester is waiting for him. We'll have to see, but a siege is starting on this outer mid turret.
I mean, it's smart. For some reason, all of Clown is mid lane. They have side lanes that can be pushed right now, but who knows, maybe this is the fight.
That's okay. Ornhorn plus Tidal Wave plus Bauble is going to be enough CC to take down the Braum here, and without a frontliner, CG Batman is going to be the next to fall here, popping that Let's Bounce, trying to get that last bit of damage. Not going to be able to find it this time as Buckby trying to run away, pulls the Wolves by accident, is going to give Koyesh the ability to take them down. And now with Church of Rango having to run all the way back to base, and Infernos, the only person full healthy, is now going to be very easy taking all of these turrets and inhibitors as well.
This may be our closing.
Ezreal is certainly doing a lot of damage, but CG, yeah, Kills is just, you know, sporting their name as they continue to get kills here. As Easton 8 finds a stray kill onto Mordekaiser. I feel like you just stick around this cannon turret and just escort the next wave in and try to end the game.
Yeah,
They're
I
backwards
mean,
here.
they have Ezreal, Mordekaiser dead. I mean, you already seen what happens with Batman and Duster. I feel like realistically they could have ended there, but I think it is also smart to start pushing the side lanes like Ziggs is doing right now too, so.
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like you had the cannon minion. You can continue to deal damage to the turret from a pretty safe distance, and then escort the next wave in, and then try to end the game. I feel like you could have ended the game while you still have the Baron buff, because I think Baron will wear off by the next time that they get to the Baron buff is wearing off soon. So they're gonna fight around this Drake for Cloud Soul, but I don't know if it's 100% necessary. I feel like you bait out the enemy team to go to Drake and then try to end the game.
I mean, also, I feel like Cloud Soul isn't too big of a deal in my opinion. I think it's a mediocre.
Yeah. Induced got a kill. Wow, who would have thought that would have happened? Wow, the 8-4 Viego gets a kill. Who'd have thought? Yeah, Cloud Soul not exactly pertinent to ending the game, but it looks like they're just gonna try to end it. What? Oh, what?
I don't even know.
Did they just two-shot that turret?
Probably. It is Ziggs and Lucian,
Oh
yeah.
my god, Ziggs does so much damage to these turrets here. Okay, they're going to be able to take the turrets down, but Batman is looking to take this for a last-ditch effort. Infernos does a decent chunk of damage here, but his entire team is falling here. Exhaust comes down onto kills, but they're still able to find the kill onto Ezreal here, as Buckby and Batman are the only people left looking for some sort of cheeky kill. They can't quite find it. Buckby trying to peel backwards in order to give themselves some space in order to DPS safely, but it's not enough this time. Church of Brango respawns, but it is too late. That's the ace. That's the match. That's the game. That's the Nexus exploding. That's the win for Clown Gaming.
What a game.
Yeah. What a game.
What a game. I think, honestly, that was amazing gameplay from both of them. I loved watching TD develop from, like, they had that rough first game, but you saw, like, they made those changes. They made that effort that second game. They didn't let the first game bother them, and I love that. Because I feel like that's a lot of issue with teams sometimes, is after the first game when they lose, it just keeps going downhill. I feel like they put up a good fight. That was awesome. Good job, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, TD Aftermath, like, had a really good, like, early game, but I feel like it started falling apart, like, once, like, Clown Gaming was able to get kind of, like, their footings. It's hard to really say. I feel like this is something that, like, oh, hey, take a look at the VOD review here, because I feel like game number 2 was, like, significantly better than game 1, even though both games were, like, relatively even towards the beginning. And it seemed like, you know, it just, I'm not quite sure what the errors are, but I need to see maybe some less hero plays, especially from Batman trying to dive in and, like, you know, I'm gonna steal the Baron, I'm gonna steal the dragon, I'm totally gonna do it this time. Like, just sometimes you have to play boring if you wanna win. Right, I know the Twitter clips are tantalizing, but sometimes you need to not, you know, be the Twitter clip guy.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Sometimes when it comes to wanting to win, you just have to play it out. You gotta wait a little bit longer, and at the end of the day, like, Cloud isn't a big deal, you know, and that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like there are times when you should go in, and there are times when you shouldn't, and especially when you're far behind like that, you gotta play a lot more careful. And I feel like Batman was like, we just need one more good fight, we need one more good fight, but sometimes, like, it's okay to admit, like, we have to let them take control, and I feel like that's just something that needs to get worked on.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to call it a night. Thank you all so much for tuning in. From myself, the entire live broadcast crew, Industrial, my co-caster, and Composter, our producer for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We have League of Legends action for you to watch nearly every single day, every week. And if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. It helps us keep the lights on here at Zero Gravity Gaming. But if you haven't already noticed, we do have a sponsor for this season, and it's ProComps. ProComps is a first-of-its-kind drafting tool aimed for competitive and solo queue play. ProComps allows the user live feedback and analysis on drafting, giving them the recommendations on picks, notes on the matchups, and analysis on the enemy team's win conditions. These features allow the user to gain an edge on their opponent and improve their drafting skills. Use code ZGG for 50% off your first 3 months of Pro Comps. And if you want to see Pro Comps, you can take a look back in our VODs. Pro Comps is really, really cool. They have a lot of really cool information that even we as casters have used for our casts as well. And you know, it's really cool. Go ahead and check that out. Code ZGG, 50% off your first 3 months. But from everyone here at Zero Gravity Gaming, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next match. Bye-bye.